Welcome to the deep dive. You know, the headlines, they often scream about AI taking all the jobs.
Right, it's a common fear.
But the reality, well, as our sources reveal, it's actually far more complex. It's more like a profound structural transformation that's already happening. It's touching almost every career.
It really is. Quietly, but fundamentally.
So today, we're really pulling back the curtain on this,
Right.
our mission, to unpack this, well, this paradox of AI's impact on the job market.
Looking at what's growing, what's shrinking.
Exactly. Which roles are emerging, which are declining, what skills you'll actually need, and, how we can all adapt individuals, societies, everyone.
And we've drawn on some really solid analysis for this.
Yeah, we've dug through reports from the World Economic Forum, McKinsey, Goldman Sachs, PwC, trying to get that well-rounded picture.
A comprehensive view, definitely.
Okay, so let's dive in. That common story, mass job displacement. Our sources suggest it's more nuanced. This idea of a great rebalancing keeps coming up. What does that actually mean?
Well, it means this isn't just a small shift. Think bigger. Think industrial revolution, digital revolution scale.
Wow. Okay.
It's characterized by this unprecedented level of churn, transformation across a whole market, not
Right.
just, a simple net loss of jobs.
And the numbers, they really back that up, don't they? The WEF, for instance.
Yeah.
They're projecting, 170 million new jobs by 2030, mostly driven by tech and AI.
A staggering figure, 170 million.
But at the same time, they see 92 million existing roles being displaced. So you do get that net positive, about 78 million jobs globally.
Which sounds good on the surface.
Right. But here's what's really fascinating, and I think this is key. Beneath that net number, the churn is immense.
That's the crucial part.
A total of 262 million roles created and displaced are going to be in flux. That's a huge slice of the global workforce facing big changes.
Absolutely enormous. And other sources add layers to this. McKinsey estimates up to 30% of current work hours in places like the U.S. and Europe could be automated by 2030.
30% of hours, not necessarily jobs.
Exactly. And Goldman Sachs, looking just at generative AI, thinks it could automate tasks equivalent to 300 million full-time jobs globally.
300 million. That acceleration.
Yeah.
It feels really rapid. What's driving that speed?
It's the pace of AI development itself and how broadly applicable it's becoming. McKinsey actually revised their forecast just recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they now project an additional 12 million occupational transitions in the U.S. by 2030 compared to what they thought just 2 years ago. It just shows how fast this is moving.
So things are speeding up even faster than predicted.
Precisely. And what's really interesting here, technically speaking, is that AI's main impact is often at the task level, not the whole job.
Okay, explain that a bit more.
Well, estimates suggest only about 5% of occupations could be fully automated right now, but, and this is the important bit, around 60% of all jobs have at least 30% of their activities that are automatable.
Got it. So it's chipping away at tasks within jobs more than eliminating entire roles wholesale.
For the most part, yes. That leads to this idea of augmentation versus pure automation.
So when we talk about augmentation, what does that actually feel like for someone at work? Is it just like having a helpful robot sidekick or?
Well, maybe sometimes. But more practically, it means AI takes over the repetitive, often tedious stuff. Think data entry, pulling together standard reports, basic reconciliation.
The things that eat up time but maybe aren't the core value?
Exactly. So it frees up your time, your mental energy for the higher value things. Strategic thinking, complex problem solving, coming up with creative ideas, building relationships with clients or colleagues.
So the uniquely human skills become more central.
Precisely. It's less about AI doing your job and more about it enabling you to focus on the parts that really require human insight and creativity.
And we're seeing this collaboration already happening, right? The WEF data showed, 30% of tasks already involve human-machine collaboration?
Yes, 30% already, and that's projected to grow. PwC's analysis backs this up too. They found that jobs considered augmentable grew by 47% in the last 5 years, while automatable ones grew 45%.
So similar growth rates, really highlighting that transformation is the main story, not just jobs vanishing.
Transformation is definitely the dominant theme emerging from the data.
Okay, so what does this mean for you listening right now? For your specific job, which roles are most susceptible to these changes and where are the new opportunities popping up?
Well, the roles most likely to see significant automation are typically those heavy on repetitive, rule-based, structured tasks, things that are predictable.
Makes sense. Like what specifically?
Administrative and clerical roles are right at the top. Data entry clerks, admin assistants, even accounting, bookkeeping, payroll clerks. These roles are seeing major shifts.
I saw one study, I think it was IPPR, suggesting maybe 60% of admin tasks could be automated now.
That sounds about right, yeah. The potential is very high in that area. And it extends beyond just office admin.
Right, customer service too.
Definitely. Customer service reps, bank tellers, cashiers, AI chatbots, and virtual assistants are changing those fields significantly. And think about production and factory work automation's been happening there for a while with robotics. AI just accelerates it.
And transportation.
Mhm.
Truck drivers, delivery drivers, that always comes up.
That's a big one, yes.
Yeah.
Autonomous systems pose a definite long-term risk there, though the exact timeline is, well, still debated.
Okay, so that's the declining side, or at least the rapidly changing side. But for every challenge, there's opportunity. Our sources seem to group the emerging roles into like three main types, three archetypes for this new economy.
That's a good way to put it. First, you have the AI builders.
The techies.
Essentially, yes. The experts designing, developing, maintaining the AI systems themselves, your AI and machine learning specialists, data scientists, cybersecurity experts, they're building the infrastructure.
And their value is pretty direct, building the tools. What about the next group?
Those are the AI bridgers. These are crucial roles. They connect the technical AI world to the human world of business, ethics, strategy.
The translators, in a way.
Exactly. Think AI auditors, AI ethics officers, maybe human AI collaboration specialists or trainers. They ensure AI is used effectively and responsibly. They translate technical power into real-world value and make sure it aligns with human goals.
That sounds like a really growing field. And the third one? AI-enabled humans. That sounds like most of us.
It is the broadest category, absolutely. This covers most existing professions that aren't being replaced but are being fundamentally enhanced by AI. Their value is amplified.
Can you give some examples?
Sure. Healthcare professionals using AI for faster, maybe more accurate diagnostics. Marketing folks using it for incredibly personalized campaigns. Financial analysts using AI for much more sophisticated risk modeling.
Educators creating tailored learning paths.
Right. Or even creative professionals using generative AI not as a replacement but as a partner for brainstorming or execution. AI boosts their existing expertise.
It's interesting, the sources also mention growth in areas not directly AI-driven, like the green transition, the care economy.
That's true. It shows the future of work isn't only about AI. There are these other major shifts happening, focusing on sustainability and, essential human care needs. These are creating jobs, too.
But sticking with AI,
Yeah.
There's a potential problem brewing, isn't there? This idea of a pipeline crisis.
Yes, this is a really important point that's emerging. If AI automates the routine foundational tasks, well, those tasks often make up traditional entry-level jobs.
The jobs where you learn the ropes.
Exactly. Historically, that's how you started. You did the grunt work, you learned the basics, you built experience. But if AI does that grunt work,
Where do future senior people come from?
that's the pipeline crisis. Bloomberg had some data on this. AI could replace, over half the tasks for market research analysts, maybe 2/3 for sales reps, but far less for their managers.
So the entry path shrinks, and employers are already asking for more experience, even for junior roles.
We're seeing that trend because those truly junior tasks are diminishing. It creates this anxiety, too. You mentioned nearly half of Gen Z job hunters feel AI has devalued their degree already.
Yeah, 49%, that's a lot.
It really is. And it poses a core dilemma. If that first rung of the career ladder is shaky or even gone, how do we develop the next generation of experienced professionals, of leaders? It's a strategic challenge for companies and society.
Okay, so we know the impact varies. It's not the same everywhere. How does this look across different sectors? Let's start with information-heavy ones like finance, insurance, legal.
Right. These sectors are really at the forefront because they're built on processing information. In finance and insurance, AI is great at automating transactions, data entry, reconciliation, basic compliance checks.
But it doesn't replace the analysts.
No, it augments them. It helps high-skilled professionals with complex things like fraud detection, sophisticated risk modeling. One report, Vina Solutions, I think, showed 72% of finance leaders actually plan to expand their teams, shifting towards more strategic analysis.
So redefining the role, not eliminating it, and legal. Lots of documents there.
Very similar story. AI excels at document review, legal research, e-discovery. That might put pressure on paralegal roles doing that kind of work, but it opens doors for legal tech specialists. And it lets lawyers focus more on high-level strategy, client advice, interpretation using the AI insights.
Okay, now what about sectors dealing more with the physical world? Manufacturing, logistics, transport, you mentioned smart factories.
Exactly. In manufacturing, AI is driving predictive maintenance, better quality control, making factories much more efficient, sometimes safer. This does often mean fewer manual assembly roles.
But new rules emerge.
Absolutely. The
Yeah.
huge demand for technicians who can install, operate, maintain these complex AI and robotic systems. Deloitte actually predicted over 2 million unfilled manufacturing jobs in the US by 2030, mainly due to a skills shortage, not a lack of
A
jobs.
skills transformation challenge again.
Yeah.
In logistics, transport. You mentioned e-commerce.
Yeah, AI is optimizing supply chains, delivery routes, making everything much more efficient. The autonomous vehicle question looms large for drivers long term, but right now, the boom in e-commerce is actually sustaining, even growing, employment in logistics and delivery. It's complex.
Then we have the human-centric sectors. Healthcare, education. Here, the narrative seems different. AI enhancing the human touch. How does that work?
It seems counterintuitive, but yeah. In healthcare, AI can take over admin burden scheduling transcription. It can also assist with diagnostics, like analyzing medical images faster or spotting patterns humans might miss.
Which frees up clinicians.
Exactly. Less time on paperwork, more time for actual patient care, empathy, complex decision making. So, demand for nurses, therapists, home health aides roles, requiring that human interaction is expected to grow significantly.
And education. Personalized learning.
Right. AI can help tailor lessons to individual student needs, automate things like grading basic assignments. This allows teachers to shift their role towards being mentors, facilitators, focusing on critical thinking, creativity, social emotional skills, things AI can't teach. It elevates the teacher's role.
Fascinating. Now, the creative industries. This one caused a stir, especially with the Hollywood strikes last year. Many thought creativity was safe.
It's been a real shakeup. Generative AI tools, they're both disruptive and, in a way, democratizing. They can automate some lower-level creative tasks, sure.
But they can also be tools.
Powerful collaborative partners, exactly. For brainstorming, generating initial drafts, exploring variations. The value shifts, perhaps, from pure technical execution to the strategic vision, the unique idea, the curation.
So new roles might emerge, like AI creative director.
We're starting to see things like that, or creative prompt engineer. And those Hollywood strikes were landmark moments. The WGA and SAG-AFTRA agreements set important precedents about AI being used to augment human talent, providing guardrails against outright replacement.
Okay, this all leads directly to the skills issue. This widening gap, this chasm between the skills people have and the skills the new economy needs. You said it's urgent.
It really is. The WEF found, 63% of companies? Citing inability to find talent with the right skills as their main barrier to transformation. 63%.
That's huge. And the pace of change. Yeah. PwC's data on that was pretty shocking.
Startling, yeah. Skills needed for AI-exposed jobs are changing 66% faster now than they were. Just a year prior, that figure was 25%.
66% faster change. That's a massive jump in just 1 year.
It is, and the WEF estimates that nearly 40%, maybe 39%, of a worker's core skills could be disrupted or just become outdated between 2025 and 2030.
Almost half your core skills potentially obsolete in just a few years.
Hmm.
Okay, so what are these crucial new skills? Let's break it down. Technical skills first, the hard skills.
Well, no surprise, AI and big data literacy is number one. Just understanding and being able to work with data and AI tools.
That seems foundational now.
Absolutely. Then networks and cybersecurity remain critical. And general technological literacy, but specifically AI literacy. That means knowing how to effectively use and interact with common AI tools, your ChatGPTs, your co-pilots.
So not necessarily needing to code the AI, but knowing how to use it well.
Exactly. AI literacy is moving really fast from being a niche skill to just a basic expectation. If you're proficient with these tools, you have a real competitive edge. It's like knowing how to use a word processor or spreadsheet became essential decades ago.
Okay, so those are the tech skills. But paradoxically, as AI handles routine stuff, the uniquely human skills become more valuable, right? The so-called soft skills.
They're not soft anymore.
Yeah.
They are critical business competencies. We're talking about things like analytical thinking, really digging into problems, creative thinking, coming up with novel solutions.
Resilience. Flexibility, adapting to change.
Hugely important. Also, leadership and social influence, curiosity, that drive for lifelong learning, and emotional intelligence, empathy. These are things AI, at least for the foreseeable future, really can't replicate.
How do these human skills blend with the tech skills in a practical job?
They create the potential for what some call the translator role. Someone who gets the tech side and has these human skills can bridge the gap. They can frame the right questions for the AI, critically evaluate the output, apply it ethically, communicate it effectively.
So it's the combination that's powerful.
It is. And these human skills are durable. The specific AI tools will change constantly, so lifelong learning is key there. But critical thinking, creativity, empathy, those are foundational and lasting.
This shift in needed skills is also changing how companies hire, isn't it? Less focus on traditional degrees.
We're definitely seeing that. PwC noted a significant drop, like 7 to 9 percentage points, in bachelor's degree requirements for jobs that are heavily AI augmented or automated just between 2019 and 2024.
So skills over sheepskin, increasingly.
That seems to be the trend. It signals a move towards valuing demonstrable skills. Practical experience may be gained through certifications, boot camps, projects, rather than just the formal degree, which, opens up the talent pool significantly.
Makes sense. Now, stepping back again, beyond individual jobs and skills, AI's transformation has these big socioeconomic ripples. Potential to reshape society, maybe worsen inequality.
Yes, that's a major concern highlighted in the sources. We're seeing this polarization of the labor market, hollowing out the middle.
Meaning?
Demand is growing at the top end, high-skill, high-wage jobs, often AI-related. And it's also growing for many lower-wage, in-person service jobs that need that human touch and are hard to automate right now.
Got the middle.
That's where the biggest decline is projected. Those middle-wage jobs often based on routine tasks, office support, admin, some production, basic customer service. These were traditionally the backbone of the middle class.
And the burden of adapting falls unevenly.
Massively unevenly. Lower-wage workers are estimated to be up to 14 times more likely to need to switch occupations than high-wage workers. And that often requires significant, sometimes costly reskilling.
Plus, there's this AI wage premium developing.
Right. PwC's data, again, the average wage premium for jobs needing AI skills, apparently hit 56% in 2024. That's more than double the 25% premium they saw the year before.
Wow, a 56% premium.
And wages, on average, are growing twice as fast in industries with higher AI exposure. So if you have the skills, you benefit disproportionately.
Which connects to the bigger picture warnings, like from the IMF.
Exactly. The IMF has explicitly warned that AI is likely to worsen overall income and wealth inequality if we don't manage the transition carefully. That kind of growing divide could easily fuel social tensions.
And these divides aren't just about income level, right? There are geographic and demographic aspects too.
For sure. Geographically, generative AI tends to impact cognitive tasks, which are often concentrated in urban areas, knowledge hubs. The OECD found urban workers have significantly higher exposure than rural workers.
Potentially widening the urban-rural gap.
Yes. And globally, advanced economies are generally better positioned to adapt than developing ones. Demographically, women are often overrepresented in those administrative roles most at risk, putting more pressure on them to reskill.
Younger workers face the entry-level squeeze we talked about. Older workers might struggle with new tech.
And studies show workers of color often express higher levels of concern about their jobs becoming obsolete due to automation. So the impacts are spread unevenly across many dimensions.
Okay, so the challenges are clear, the stakes are high. But the future isn't set in stone. What are the strategic pathways forward? How can we adapt? Let's start with businesses, the corporate playbook.
Well, the key theme is moving beyond just adopting AI tools to fundamentally transforming talent strategy and workflows. It requires a proactive stance.
Like prioritizing reskilling.
Absolutely critical. Something like 77% of employers say they plan to prioritize continuous reskilling and upskilling. We see big companies like Ericsson, Verizon, Amazon investing heavily in internal training programs.
And redesigning work itself. You mentioned not just layering AI on top. Can you give an example?
Sure. Instead of just, say, giving accountants an AI tool to automate report generation, a company might redesign the entire finance function. Maybe AI handles initial data crunching and anomaly detection, freeing up the human team to focus entirely on strategic financial planning, forecasting, and advisory roles. It's about creating true human-AI collaboration from the ground up.
So changing the process, not just the tool.
Yeah.
And adopting competency-based hiring fits in here too.
Yes, shifting focus to hiring for demonstrable skills, not just degrees, broadens the talent pool and aligns with the changing skills landscape. And finally, fostering an AI-ready culture is vital. Leadership needs to champion it, communicate transparently, encourage experimentation.
Makes sense. What about the role of government and policy? They need to build, as you said, guardrails and springboards, like that AI displacement insurance idea. How would that work?
Well, 80 is one concept being floated. The idea is a dedicated fund, maybe financed through contributions related to AI usage or from tech companies, specifically to support workers displaced by AI. It could offer targeted retraining grants, income support during transitions, something potentially more tailored than traditional unemployment systems, which weren't designed for this kind of structural shift.
Interesting. And beyond specific programs.
Governments have a huge role in modernizing education, embedding AI and data literacy from early stages, and championing accessible, affordable adult reskilling programs. Lifelong learning needs infrastructure. They also need to foster partnerships, bring industry, academia, labor together to align training with actual market needs.
And labor unions, their role seems to be evolving too, from maybe resistance to co-creation.
It's a really interesting shift. Unions are increasingly moving towards negotiating the terms of AI implementation.
Shaping it rather than just blocking it.
Exactly. Their bargaining agenda is expanding to include things like job security guarantees during AI transitions, demanding employer-funded reskilling programs, ensuring transparency and human oversight of AI systems, and critically negotiating how the productivity gains from AI are shared with the workforce.
Those Hollywood strikes, again, seem like a key example.
They set a huge precedent, as did the partnership between Microsoft and the AFL-CIO, aiming to involve workers in the early stages of AI development. It's about giving workers a voice in shaping this technology.
So finally, let's bring it back to the individual. For you listening, what's the personal roadmap? How do you not just survive, but actually thrive?
There are a few key pillars emerging from the analysis.
First, sounds like cultivating that mindset of continuous learning is non-negotiable. The ability to learn, unlearn, relearn, that's maybe the most durable skill of all now.
Absolutely essential. It's not a platitude anymore. It's a survival requirement.
Second, becoming an AI power user. It's that saying AI won't take your job, but a person using AI will. Seems true.
Increasingly so. You don't necessarily need to build AI, but mastering the tools relevant to your field to boost your own productivity and creativity is crucial.
And third, doubling down on those uniquely human skills we talk about. Creativity, critical thinking, problem solving, leadership, empathy.
Right. Focus on developing deep capabilities there. Those are the areas where humans retain a distinct advantage, the skills AI struggles to replicate. That's your long-term competitive edge.
So learn constantly, leverage the tools, and lean into your humanity.
That sums it up pretty well. It's about being adaptable and strategic.
Which brings us back to a point you raised earlier, that potential pipeline crisis.
Yes, it really raises a fundamental question for the future. If AI keeps automating those foundational entry-level tasks, the traditional training grounds, how do we ensure we develop the next generation of skilled senior professionals, managers, leaders? Where will they get that initial experience if the first steps are automated away?
That is a truly thought-provoking question for all of us to consider. As you navigate this future of work, remember, your adaptability, your willingness to learn, and your uniquely human capabilities, those are your greatest assets. The question really becomes, what will you choose to learn next to prepare for this evolving landscape?